Are you looking for the hands-on pressure control of an E61 flow control machine, but not the long warm-up and maybe not another shiny metal box? Well, the wait might just be over. Hey, Espresso lovers, Marc here from Latte Love with the Arkel Coast. Now, Arkel is a new name for a lot of espresso enthusiasts, and it was for me too. The company comes to us from Portugal, and the Coast is one of a pair of machines they produce. It's a premium dual boiler with a modern glass and steel design and actively heated brew group, programmable brewing, and one very interesting feature over here, a stainless steel needle valve gives you direct control of brew pressure during an extraction. So coming up, I'll take you through the design and controls, walk you through programming and brewing, demonstrate how that needle valve differs from traditional E61 flow control, and share our test results for brewing and milk steaming performance. I'll also compare the Coast to its sibling, the Arkel Tide, cover what comes in the box, and help you decide which machine is the best fit for you. So let's get started. The Coast is a dual boiler machine with a relatively familiar non-E61 layout. The brew boiler sits directly above the group in the front half of the machine, while the vibration pumps, that's pumps plural, steam boiler and water reservoir are in the back. At 14.9 inches wide and 16 inches tall, it's not unusually large for the category, but do check the clearance under your cabinets, especially since you'll need access to the reservoir from the top and in the back. What I really like is the amount of working room up front. There's a wide open area with space for a scale and larger cups, and lights mounted above the tray illuminate the entire workspace. In the center of the front panel are 4 capacitive touch buttons. From top to bottom, you have 2 programmable shop buttons, a manual start and stop brew button, and a programmable hot water button. To the left of the display are temperature controls and a dedicated menu button, which I gotta say I appreciate over button presses or combinations. Brew temperature can be changed directly in 1-degree increments using the plus and minus buttons. Now, I will point out that brew temperature can only be displayed in Celsius, no freedom units on this one, and you can't change the steam temperature. Inside the functions menu, you can view the total shot counter, enable and program pre-infusion, which I'll get into more in our segment on brewing, switch eco mode on and off, and start automatic back flushing and descaling cycles. Now, one feature I would like to have seen is automatic on and off scheduling, but that's not as big an issue as you might think. On a traditional E61 machine, you might need 25 or 30 minutes to fully heat. Arkel rates the Coast as ready to brew in about 12 minutes thanks to the actively heated brew group. The Coast deviates pretty sharply from a lot of the machines I've covered on the channel. The front panels are glass with steel backing, and the capacitive LED controls create a clean, glossy interface. The machine is available in 2 finishes, matte black and matte white. Now, personally, I love the look of the white housing, which gives you a nice contrast against the stainless valves, drip tray, and wood portafilter handle. Glass on an espresso machine is, kind of unusual. In fact, one of the only other machines I've seen using a similar combination of steel and glass is the Gaggia Academia. Another major part of the Coast identity is where it's made. Arkel machines are designed by a Portuguese team and manufactured in Portugal. More than 95% of the machine is made from components either produced by Arkel in Portugal or sourced from manufacturers in the European Union. Todd, thanks for joining me. We're going to take a look inside the Arkel. First thing I noticed, a lot of stainless steel. We'll talk more about some more of that, but the whole base frame here is stainless front to back.
Yeah, very, very well made.
Nice.
Very shippable, which always makes me happy. So yeah, let's take a look inside. There's a lot of good stuff in here, and I want to start in the bottom here where the pumps are. So this has 2 pumps, one for the brew boiler, one for the steam boiler. This one here goes to the brew boiler. This back one here goes right up to here. That fills the steam boiler. And you have these 2 tubes here come from the reservoir, and that's how it pulls water into the pumps. Now you notice this other valve down in here. That there is used to drain the steam boiler. There's a valve on the bottom of that. And so if you want to drain the steam boiler, you open that up and all the water will exit into the drip tray, which is a really nice feature.
Yeah, a lot of machines, you just pop that out like the hot water tap, right? Turn the machine off, don't have to do that here.
Sure, yeah, this has a solenoid valve, so you can't do that.
Right.
Really cool part of this machine what I want to go over. The water that comes from the pump comes up into this needle valve here, and this is used as a flow control device. So the pump under pressure comes into here, it'll bypass water back to the reservoir or back to the intake of the pump over here. And that way it only lets enough water that you want to come into fill the boiler.
And that's a stainless steel needle valve. It's all in the cold water path.
Yep,
right?
Very smooth, very innovative.
Nice.
That'll go to your pump pressure gauge, so you get to see where your pressure is. So this capillary tube leads over to your pump pressure gauge. And over here, you have your solenoid valve for hot water. So it takes the hot water from the brew boiler on this machine.
A little different than a lot of machines, right?
Yep.
But you don't get a lot of spurting because that water isn't nearly as hot as a typical steam boiler.
So it's great for Americanos.
Perfect.
Yep. On top here, they have two high limits. There's your wires for your brew boiler heating element. Now this, because you have the hot water, you actually have a fill probe on this. This is the only boiler I know that has a fill probe. Very innovative, very cool. Over here is your three-way solenoid valve for your brew boiler. And when it opens up, it'll send water through a rubber tube here. That goes down to the drip tray also. Now while we're here, underneath this, you can't see it, but that's where the cartridge heater is for the brew boiler.
It's a heated group head that's controlled thermostatically.
Yep, here's your valve for your steam, for your frothing and steaming your milk. Up top, here's your steam boiler. In the back here, there's your cap tube that goes to your gauge. Now this has a pressure stat, but it actually sends power to a static relay, so you don't have the contacts in here taking full voltage and arcing. So this is a really nice idea, using a pressure stat, which actually works well on a steam boiler. You don't really always have to have a PID on a steam boiler.
Right. Little more robust design, having that relay off stuff, right?
Very quick acting also.
Yeah.
It senses pressure change very quickly. Then you have your pressure relief valve and your vacuum relief valve and your two high limits. We took off the side. Here's where your power switches are. I just want to show you near the control board. Very nice way it's designed, easy to service and understand. It comes with a nice little on the control board here, so you can see exactly what everything is, all the connections. So that's kind of, I think, all I have here. Very well made, very cool.
Just a couple of, you got a little capacitive sensor for your water level over here. Your reservoir would be sitting in here. And yeah, a really nice design, a lot of stainless steel, including those boilers are all stainless, right?
Yeah, okay, one more thing I want to bring up. The heating element for the steam boiler actually is very different from all the other ones. This is a very unique design. This is all them, all Arkel. You have 4 screws here, and you can take that whole plate out, brings the whole heating element out right there.
A lot of times you got to go in at the bottom.
Yeah, it's very cool.
All right.
So those are the key parts.
All right, Todd, thanks so much for taking us through the Arkel Coast.
Happy to do it.
Yes.
As most of you know, we always do temperature testing on the machines to show you what they can really do. Arkel did a fantastic job, and let's go over the results. We did our first test. We set it to 93 degrees Celsius, which is 199.4. We did 5 extractions, and we had an average of 199.3 degrees Fahrenheit, which is incredible. This is probably, I can say, the best we've had on any of the machines that we've tested. So then we moved it up to 94 degrees Celsius, which is 201.2 degrees. We did 5 extractions. We had an average of 201.6 Fahrenheit. Again, fantastic results we had on this. This is as good as you're gonna get. So that's the impressive brew performance on the Arkel Coast. Back to you, Marc.
Brewing on the Coast uses 3 dedicated buttons with 2 that can be programmed by time and a third for fully manual start and stop control. To program one of the time buttons, just press and hold for 6 seconds until the navigation buttons blink to confirm programming mode and the extraction begins. Then press the button again when you reach your desired time. Because programming is time-based and not volumetric, you'll want to update it when you change coffee, dose, or grind size, rather than treating it as set and forget. Now, best practice is to program with a scale and use the time buttons to stop it at your desired weight. Pre-infusion can also be enabled for the time buttons via the settings menu. Enabling and programming happen at the same time, so I recommend removing the portafilter and placing a cup under the group. You program 2 stages, first an active wetting phase with the pump running, then a passive soak with the pump stopped and the solenoid valve closed before full pressure brewing begins. Both programmable brew buttons share the same pre-infusion settings, and if you disable pre-infusion, you'll need to program those timings again when you turn it back on. The needle valve is the Coast's marquee feature, and it sits in the water path between the vibration pump and the brew boiler. Turning the valve changes the pressure of the water entering the boiler. You can watch the result immediately on the brew pressure gauge. In our testing, the stock machine gave us an adjustable range from approximately 9 bar with the valve fully open down to about 1.5 bar with it fully closed. You can start an extraction gently at low pressure to wet the puck, gradually open the valve to build toward full pressure, then reduce it near the end of the shot as the coffee puck begins to erode. Alternatively, you can leave the valve open and pull conventional 9-bar extractions. What I like is that you don't have to profile every extraction. The control is there when you want it, and it doesn't prevent you from pulling a normal shot. The immediate comparison is an E61 flow control device, but the two systems, they do work a little differently from one another. An E61 flow control valve is mounted at the group and directly restricts how quickly heated brew water flows through the group and into the coffee. The Coast needle valve is further back in the hydraulic system. It regulates pressure before cold water from the reservoir enters the brew boiler. In practical use, the valve is responsive and the gauge reacts quickly as you make adjustments. You get tactile, real-time control without the long warm-up and traditional group design of an E61 machine. The Coast also has an overpressure valve near the reservoir, so the machine's overall brew pressure ceiling can be adjusted internally. Now, personally, I think the needle valve gives more than enough useful range in the stock configuration. But if you do change the OPV, use a blind basket to check pressure and make note of the new minimum and maximum positions available at the needle valve. You want to know the range you're working with before experimenting on coffee. Now, if you use fresh, lighter roasted specialty coffees, a low pressure start can help saturate the puck more gently and give trapped carbon dioxide time to escape before full pressure extraction. Now, on the other hand, with darker roasts, you might use a softer overall pressure profile to reduce any harshness. Now, if the Coast interests you, you might also be interested in its sibling, the Arkel Tide. The two machines share the same interface, programming, and design language. Major differences are water supply, pump type, and the way you control brew pressure. The Coast is a reservoir machine with a vibration pump and manual needle valve. The Tide can be run in tank mode like the Coast or connected directly to a water line and uses a gear pump. Instead of restricting pressure with a needle valve, a potentiometer changes the speed of that pump. Because the housing on the Tide is a little more compact, the Tide's boilers are shorter to make room. The Tide is also rated to warm up a little faster, about 9 minutes, compared with approximately 12 for the Coast. Both machines let you adjust pressure during extraction, but they feel different. On the Coast, pump output remains fixed and the valve restricts the incoming pressure, so changes register very quickly. But on the Tide, the potentiometer tells the gear pump to speed up or slow down, and the pump needs a little time to build pressure or ramp back down. So adjustments are not quite as immediate as they are with the Coast needle valve. Steam comes from a 1-liter stainless steel boiler regulated by a pressure stat. It's not a design we see often, but was featured in the Pro 300, the precursor to the Profitec Move. And it means that the PID can't be used to change the temperature inside the boiler. Instead, steam temp is fixed, and when fully heated, the boiler idles at approximately 1.8 bar. The steam on is on the right side of the machine, and the steam control mirrors the needle valve hardware on the opposite side. Twist the control downward to lock it open for steaming, or press it upward for a quick burst to purge condensation. The wand has a 3-hole tip, and the Coast, yeah, it's got some serious steam performance. In our standard test, we started with 142 grams, that's about 5 ounces of refrigerator temperature milk, and heated it to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Across our testing, the average was just 12.25 seconds, which is really fast, with added water at just under 11%, indicating a very dry steam. Recovery averaged about 32 seconds, so the Coast is perfectly capable of producing milk drinks back to back. Now, something very unique about the Coast is that instead of pulling water from the steam boiler, the Coast dispenses it from the brew boiler. That means the water exits without the aggressive sputtering and splashing you can get when dispensing from the steam boiler, and you can dispense hot water without having to power on both boilers. The brew boiler is also equipped with a level probe, and the pump automatically refills it as needed. You can also program the hot water button by just pressing and holding it, just like the timed brew buttons. Now, there is one interaction to remember because the needle, valve, and potentiometers control the incoming water to the brew boiler. Their position also affects the rate of hot water dispensing. If you finish an espresso profile with a valve turned down, make sure you open that back up before dispensing hot water. Otherwise, you may wonder why your Americano is filling so slowly. In the box, you'll find a wood-handled stainless steel portafilter, a matching wood-handled stainless steel tamper, IMS single and double shot filter baskets, a group cleaning brush, cleaning accessories, and a Brita water filter. Arkel also offers a matching bottomless portafilter, which is available separately from Whole Latte Love. Arkel also includes a Brita filter, but if you want to eliminate descaling altogether, we recommend using a water filter from BWT, which not only protects your machine from scale, but remineralizes water with magnesium to improve the taste of your espresso. So who is the Arkel Coast really for? Well, if you want meaningful manual control over an extraction, but not on an E61 machine, the Coast might be for you. The needle valve gives you a broad responsive pressure range with the actively heated ring group shortening warm up to about 12 minutes. It's also a machine for anyone who values modern design and European construction. Apart from maybe Bezzera, who I visited and who makes the majority of their parts in-house, Arkel is about as European as you can get. Arkel's made in Portugal manufacturing uses more than 95% Portuguese or EU sourced components. It's also a great machine for milk lovers, taking just 12.25 seconds to steam 5 ounces of milk. Yeah, that steam is going to be very dry at under 11% added water. On the flip side, choose the Tide if you're interested in direct waterline plumbing. New brand, new country, and a pressure control system that gives you immediate hands-on feedback during the extraction. Yeah, that's a strong first impression from Arkel. Now, if you have any questions about the Arkel Coast or need help deciding between the Coast and the Tide, use those comments and I'd be happy to get you a detailed answer. I'm Mark, thanks for watching, and if you love coffee and espresso as much as I do, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on more of the best on everything coffee, brought to you by Whole Latte Love.